funny thing is, I thought I was recording the whole time. I thought I was talking to you guys, made some jokes, only to realize, what, maybe 5 minutes in, that I wasn't recording. Sucks. Anyways, what's up, guys? Let's try to restart this over again. So, I've been trying to make this video for a long time. However, every time I tried, either I forgot to set my ND filters accordingly, or there for some reason was a cop next to me and I couldn't really concentrate on what I was telling you guys. Minor things like that, but enough to, like, what I would say ruin the video or what I was trying to say. But let's see, we're gonna make this a short video. We're gonna try to demonstrate how to gear either up or down on the street, and also if we have time for it, we'll see if we can throw in some emergency braking. Oh, not emergency braking, but braking to a stop. Like, how do you do it in traffic, right? Pretty straightforward of how you normally would do this thing. Essentially, all you're really doing is when you want to shift, you can just do it safely. Like, you know, if you watch my previous video on how to ride a bike, you just basically pull the clutch in, shift up, and then let go and roll on the throttle back on. And technically, I think the question that people are really asking is like, what is the perfect time to be doing that, right? Essentially, there could be any time. It's perfect that you don't really need to wait for a perfect time. It's all about how you do it, right? So that's it. Just shift up, shift up. I'm not really even accelerating. Just shift. You can shift up, and without accelerating, I can shift down, shift down. So it's all about when you do it and whatnot, right? So some people will say, wait for your throttle to be higher, so I can, and then shift up, right? Wait for the throttle to be higher, but it's not necessary, it's not a need, right? As long as you're shifting accordingly. Now, as for shifting down, how do you normally do it? Beginner way of doing it, what I recommend is just pull the clutch in and then shift down, and then slowly release the clutch, and then roll the throttle back on at the same time. It's kind of like reverse of shifting up, right? So we'll do this one more time. Clutch in, shift down, throttle and clutch at the same time. All right, and so I was doing that from third gear, slowing down, right? Now, in terms of shifting down, that one you have to be a little bit more particular, right? For that one, you'll need to ensure that you are at a perfect throttling. Maybe not perfect throttling, but like a somewhat decent throttle. And so right now my bike is like basically yelling at me to shift, so this is probably when I should be shifting. That one time you should be shifting up, so I will shift up. And while I don't have to wait for the gears to go back up, whoa, what is going on over here? People are just not paying attention to what's happening, I guess. Like telling me to shift up, right? So shift up, and now with the throttles being okay, I can still shift up. All right, the one time you really should be shifting up is when your bike is begging you to do so. That means like really high throttles. Otherwise, as long as you got good gear and good speed, you can shift out anytime. One tricky thing, not tricky thing, but one tidbit that I like to do is if you want your bike to be quieter, put it into like a higher gear. So now you can barely hear my exhaust. All right. But today is like people don't know what they're doing today. Yeah, people don't know what they're doing today. People, I gotta watch out for this Mercedes. I mean, again, the construction here is just confusing everyone. So now I'm in like 5th gear, not really the best gear to be cruising at in the city. So I'm just gonna shift down to third gear, and then put the throttle back on. At the same time, I'm rolling off the clutch, or letting go of the clutch, I should say. So hopefully that really clears the gearing or the shifting of the gears. All right. Let me see if I can get into the right lane. should have gone in front of him, right? So I guess that leaves us a little bit of time. Time for what? We got a little bit of time to actually cover about how to come to a stop, and depending on, like, does he have to be in a particular gear, or what gear is best to be in? How should I shift? When should I be shifting? So these are all good questions I received on the YouTube channel, and thank you guys again for that. If you have any other questions, just let me know. Now, for coming to a stop, like say when you're like at a red light like this one here, essentially a lot of people will tell you to either be in first gear or be in neutral, right? The reason why a lot of people advocate for being in first gear is that some reckless driver behind you doesn't really seem to be giving you the space, or doesn't seem to be stopping. Then you can use your bike's power to actually power out. Now, the one thing that I like to do when I'm coming to a stop, whether it be for a red light or for a stop sign, whatever it may be that I have to come to a stop for. In the beginning, when I was a new rider, what I would do is I would just like get on the brakes, like obviously not hard, but just, you know, start braking as normal, whatever gear I'm in, and then when I come to a stop, I can just shift down all the way, right? That's the method that a lot of people who begin riding will start with. As you get better at riding, a lot of people will start shifting down, matching their decreasing speed until they come to a stop, and they'll stop at first gear, right? Both methods are not like incorrect or something. I mean, they're both can be used. What I recommend is if you are learning, just, you know, come to a full stop with the clutch, holding onto the clutch. That's really the best method to start learning with. That road looks really wet. I don't want to go on that. It rained over here earlier today, like for like 6 hours straight. Basically, I was working, and from the start of my work, it started raining, and then once I finished work, it stopped raining. Not sure if you guys saw that. I was actually able to leave on second gear, so I don't know if we're going to get an opportunity to demonstrate this, but if I can, cool. If I can't, then we'll make it another video. So what we're going to demonstrate is what I recommend to newer bikers, which is come to a complete stop, whatever gear you're in, to shift down all the way to gear 1 or neutral. Alright, so I'll just, for the sake of this, remain in second gear just to kind of demonstrate my point. And why is it when you never want a red light, you get a red light, and then when you do need a red light, you never get a red light? Purposely being slow so I can actually get stopped by a red light, and look at this, no red light still. Alright, so coming red light, we got a red light, so start braking. I'm in third gear. Come to a complete stop, and when I come to a complete stop, then shift down. There we go. That's the best way to do it. But what I want to try actually demonstrating next is the gear shifting down while braking. This is something that, like, once you get comfortable with braking on a bike, that you can start incorporating. Well, comfortable with first, you know, braking on a bike, and then second of all, shifting down. I'll start this from third gear. I see a red light. Will we actually get to use this red light? Who knows, right? Alright, come on. Don't turn green. Please don't turn green. And you need to stay red. Alright, look, we're braking. So we're going to start braking. Shift down. Shift down. And then just continue braking. And then in between each shift, you can let go of the brakes. I'm hoping you're letting go of the gas while you're shifting, but you can let go of the gas. Why do I keep saying gas? You can let go of the brakes while for each shift that you perform. You don't have to hold on to the brakes. I'm trying to remember if I ever do that. Can't seem to remember right now. But yeah, that's the best way of handling it. My visor's fogging up. cruising down, and then the other one will be shifting down while braking. Alright, so I'll demonstrate coming to a complete stop first. So I'm on my brakes. You don't hear my exhaust obviously, but I'm on my brakes. And then complete stop. And then shift down. There we go. That's it. And just in time for the traffic to start moving too. So for those of you who may have noticed, when I started accelerating, I waited for like, well, I wouldn't call it peak gear 1, but somewhere high RPM, something in first gear. And then I shifted not too long after into third gear from second. Oh, and this time let me see if I can demonstrate shifting down while braking. That's how you do it while coming to a stop. I like this one method better just because you can hear the bloop of each shift. I like it. And then at higher speeds, oh, it's the cherry on top, I'd have to say. No idea what's happening here. Let's see. It'll be interesting. Will the Tesla make the left turn? Most likely not, just because there is no left turn to make. Alright, Volkswagen. Trying to figure out if you can make that left turn. I guess if, you know, kind of talking about the gears, to kind of end this off, when is the best time to shift? It really depends on your speed, like what speed you're at, right? If you're doing like city speeds, you gotta know what's the best gear to be in, right? To match that city speed. You don't have to be at high RPMs on your bike all the time while cruising the city, for example. Obviously when you're on highway, for example, you're doing higher speeds, you'll obviously have to be at higher gear to get into those higher speeds, right? So once you kind of know what gear you need to be in, actually, if you know your speeds, for example, then like say I'm in my 40s or 60s, then generally being in second gear or third gear is enough. Once I need to be in, I'll say 100, right? And I'm talking about kilometers per hour, not miles per hour. Then I'll have to be at like 4th gear, 5th gear, 6th gear, 7th gear, 8th gear. No, I don't think we don't have 8 gears, right? So, yeah. So yeah, hopefully that gives you an idea of how to brake and stuff. I'm gonna have some fun on the bike now. And that's how you kind of shift down while braking. Again, that's something you can get into at a more comfortable level once you're riding. Well, that makes sense. You look stressed. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys on the comment side. If you got any questions, just let me know in the comments below.